call the Milliken Town Board of Trustees meeting for June 11th, 2025 to order. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Will Town Clerk please call roll?
Trustee Beckman? Here. Trustee Orcutt?
Here.
Trustee Nix?
Here.
Trustee Wakeman?
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Dean?
Here.
Mayor Austin?
Here. Okay, on the agenda approval, I would like to move the resolution appointing an successor to fill the vacancy of the board member from E to A on the action agenda. Are there any other changes to the agenda? I'll take a motion.
Move to approve the amended agenda. Second.
That was a lot.
Too fast.
Town Clerk, please call for a vote.
Trustee Orcutt?
Yes.
Trustee Nix?
Yes.
Trustee Wakeman?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Dean?
Yes.
Mayor Austin?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Okay. Yes. Next on the agenda.
Oh, did I forget you? Trustee Beckman? Yes.
Now we're going to the next item. We have a presentation to Brian Lane. You can stand right next to me. I don't bite. Okay. So we would like to present this plaque to Brian Lane in the fact that he has served the board. And we'd like to thank you for your service. Even before Brian Lane was on the board and running for trustee, he attended many board meetings to learn about projects we were working on and issues that required attention. He was very dedicated in that aspect. He immersed himself in board experiences, attending CML, asking questions, and actively participating in aspects of board activities. I'm sure you really enjoyed the tour of the wastewater department.
I actually did.
There you go.
It's a good tour.
So we all know if Brian's circumstances were different and he was still living in Milliken, that he would continue to serve his community that he so loves, but he will continue to deliver our mail. Yay, Brian. It is with great appreciation we present Brian with this plaque commemorating his service to the town of Milliken. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Citizens' comments. Do we have any citizens that would like to address the board this evening? Seeing none, we will skip over that and go to the minutes of the previous meeting. Do we have any changes or updates to the minutes from May 28th, 2025? Hearing none, I'll take a motion.
I motion to approve the minutes from May 28th, 2025.
Second. Town Clerk, please call for a vote.
Trustee Nix?
Yes.
Trustee Wakeman?
Yes.
Trustee Beckman?
Yes.
Trustee Orcutt?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Dean?
Yes.
Mayor Austin?
Yes.
Motion carries. I don't know. I'm sorry, I can't talk tonight.
All righty now. So now we'll have the town administrator's report. Administrator Powell.
Yes, thank you, Mayor and trustees. I personally don't have a lot to report on because I've been on vacation, so I didn't get back until Monday from the last meeting. But yesterday, Pepper and I did attend a meeting with some DOLA representatives regarding affordable housing and Proposition 123. So we may be bringing more information to the board at some point in time. in the near future in regards to that. I want to remind everybody that the Northern Colorado Water Conservancy District is offering a tour to the board members. That tour is scheduled for Wednesday, July 9th. The proposed schedule for the day is 12:30 meeting at the town hall for departure to Northern Water and Berthoud. From 1:30 to 4:30, the Glade Reservoir Project Tour. And then coming back here for dinner and work session, and then the regular meeting. Also, please note that our next meeting is Monday, June 23rd, due to CML. Just to catch you up a little bit on some of the projects we have going on. They have started some shop drainage improvements this past week. And so we'll keep you updated as those move along. Quinteen Stormwater Crossing, it was on quite a bit of a delay because of the weather. It's dried out. We found out today that ground engineering approved the base and how we're going to go about installing the culverts. So that's good. That will start tomorrow. So they'll start building the box culverts. The alluvial well blending project, we had to remove a small addition that was on the RO building. There was no footers underneath it, so it would have been kind of dangerous to try to do anything there. So that was done. They're working on the piping on the outside, and we'll begin the internal controls, I think, within the next week. I'm looking at John because I want to make sure I have it right, so stop me if I don't. I'm trying to think. Same thing with, so that's Public Works, Parks, been doing what they can in between thunderstorms. We did have to start going to all electric for anything smaller than 10 horsepower. So we did have to go out and purchase a few hand lawnmowers that are electric and electric weed eaters. So from my understanding, Keith's office is buzzing with all these things being charged. And that was an unfunded mandate, so we had to do it. Florence Park, they've removed, all of it's gone now, the whole playground area, and so they are improving the ground there, that raise it up a bit. And then I believe at the end of this month, they're going to start installing the new playground. And also, Keith is going to meet with GoPlay on Friday to get ideas regarding Ehrlich Lake Playground and also the Mountain View Playground. And we will be receiving our wind turbine benches by the end of the month. So those I'm excited to see what they look like. So at least you can do something with the old wind turbines other than what I don't know what they would do, burying them out there somewhere. Repurposing. So that's pretty much all I have.
Okay, any questions from the board? Well, even though you were on vacation, you were still chugging along. Thank you very much. All right, so we do not have anything on the consent agenda. First item on the exact action agenda is I will take nominations for the vacancy board member.
I'll nominate Conrad Stevens.
And I'd like to nominate Josh Roseberry.
Any other nominations?
I'd like to nominate Kelly Stevens.
Who?
Kelly?
Matthews.
Matthews,
Okay.
I'm sorry. Yeah. Here.
We have 3 nominations. At this point, is there any discussion?
I'll go first if you'd like me to.
You sure?
It's just open discussion.
It's open.
so-
Sure. Mostly, I guess, to all of you, like I'm humbled and every one of you interviewed so incredibly well and would be such a great contribution and so appreciative of all of you being willing and hoping that you continue coming back and looking for, it's crazy that we only have one spot for this many people, and I could see that all of you could lend some perspective and skill to many positions, and so it's really tough. And for me, during our discussion, I talked about that. For me, it kind of comes down to where our blind spot is as a board, and where we could fill in to help us as a board be able to tackle some of the things that come our way that maybe we feel it insufficient to address. And so that's kind of what comes down to for me on kind of where things might lie for me. But honestly, we really appreciate all of you coming and spending the time, and hope you come back for more.
I just really like Josh's historical knowledge of the town and what the town is doing, the projects that it's done, the projects that is in front of it, and what he can offer as maybe a liaison between the town and the school. So I think that would add a lot to the board.
Well, I like Kelly's broad introduction and background that she brings to the community.
Yeah, Conrad ran the last election for mayor, and I think it just takes a lot of kind of courage and guts to lose and come back, and it shows just a commitment to the town where, you know, you got knocked down and you wanted to come back to try to serve still. And then secondly, he had all of our questions. He had knowledge for Ehrlich Lake Pump Station, different things, and has the construction background and business ownership where I think it would be helpful to us as a blind spot on the board to when we're reviewing these proposals or we're in work sessions and such. But I will say, thoroughly impressed by all of the interviews. It wasn't really easy, and especially with 9 people, that was more than we had at the last election. There's 3 openings and 4 people running. So even the people that don't get this appointment, please consider running. I mean, it's about a 3-month process. I'm not going to say it's extremely fun, but I mean, it's an experience, right? And you grow, and then you learn a lot about kind of the workings of the town and everything like that. So just thank you for coming out. I just appreciate your willingness to serve our awesome little town.
Yeah. Just want to say thank you for everybody.
Okay.
So yes, having 9 applications was a lot. It was highly unusual. It is unfortunate that we only have 1 position open, kind of echoing what everybody else said. We did have a lot of candidates that rose to the top, and selecting one is going to be extremely difficult. I do encourage you, when the 2026 elections come up, to please consider running. It's not as hard as Michael would make it out to be. You put some signs in your front yard, or not.
Or your neighbors.
Our neighbors.
And you campaign, okay? And then you do the Johnstown Breeze Q&A session. We all lived through it.
Yep.
You know, it's fine. But I do want to say we had fine candidates. A lot of you were discussed, many more. So thank you very much for coming down and putting in your application and interviewing. So if there is no further discussion at this point, I would take a motion on who is going to be appointed.
A motion to appoint Conrad Stevens to the Board of Trustees.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay. So I've got a motion and a second. I have a procedural question. Before we vote on this one, do I take any other motions? If somebody wants to appoint another
No, I think you need to act on the pending
Just
motion
act on it,
first.
but- Okay, just making sure.
Yeah, we need.
We don't
yes.
do this every day, people.
No.
Right.
Okay. All right, town clerk, please call for a vote.
Sorry, I apologize. Trustee Beckman?
No.
Trustee Orcutt?
Yes.
Trustee Nix?
No.
Trustee Wakeman?
No.
Mayor Pro Tem Dean?
Yes.
Mayor Austin?
Yes.
It's a tie.
That does not pass. You do need a majority.
Yeah. Okay. So since that did not pass, I will put out for another motion.
Give me just a second, sorry. With the new system, I gotta check. Okay. Okay, thank you.
I motion to appoint Josh Roseberry. Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Town clerk, please call for a vote when you're ready.
Trustee Orcutt?
Yes.
Trustee Nix?
Yes.
Trustee Wakeman?
Yes.
Trustee Beckman?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Dan Dean?
Yes.
Mayor Austin?
Yes,
Motion carries.
thank you.
Would you like me to swear him in now?
Yes, so, since you're here, we're going to swear you in. There is board business that you can sit up here on. If you obviously don't know what's going on, you can just, when it comes to voting time, you can just say that you abstain. Okay? You don't have to call me ma'am. It's okay.
Just let him, it'll only last a month.
We know that I'm older than you, so please come up for your swearing in.
I'll give you an official certificate. If you could raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Josh Roseberry,
Do solemnly affirm
do solemnly affirm
that I will support and enforce the Constitution
that I will support and enforce the Constitution
and laws of the United States of America
and laws of the United States of America
and the ordinances of the town of Milliken,
and the ordinances of the town of Milliken,
and shall faithfully perform,
and shall faithfully perform,
to the best of my abilities,
to the best of my abilities,
the duties of the office of trustee,
the duties of office of trustee,
which I am about to enter.
which I am about to enter.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Take your seats.
We don't get to go sit up.
So either Amanda or Mindy, can you share, so he has some idea of kind of what's going on? A little bit challenging. All right.
Madam Mayor,
Yes.
if I could ask the clerk, somehow I've lost my agenda. Could you reinstate me, please?
Yes, sir.
Do you want me to share mine with you?
No, I can't vote on here.
Oh,
So that's,
I think it didn't come up because it was,
yeah, it did.
mine came up originally. but-
yeah, just these
It was
last
the
ones.
multiple motions on that last
didn't
one.
come up.
So hopefully this next one should work okay. Now I did refresh.
I'm still not getting it. No,
There you go.
oh, okay, all right, thank you. Just took your touch.
I know. It sometimes does.
Oh, thank you.
Okay. Next item on the agenda is consideration and adoption of ordinance number 2025-827, an ordinance of the town of Milliken, Colorado, amending portions of the model traffic code regarding use of a mobile electronic device. Presenting is Matthew Gould, town attorney.
Thank you, Mayor Austin. The ordinance before you is an effort to keep the model traffic code as adopted by the town of Milliken consistent with state statutes. There was a modification to section 42-4-239 of the Colorado Revised Statutes. I believe that was, yes, in 2024. And the model traffic code typically follows state code pretty closely. The state changed the terminology from, I believe it was wireless telephone to mobile electronic device. One of the things that also changed was that certain violations were limited to 18-year-olds, and now there's no age difference in some of these violations. The key provisions are in the old statute, sections 2 and 3,
And then in the new statute, the new statute and the proposed code provision, Section 2, which simply says an individual shall not use a mobile electronic device while operating a motor vehicle. So this is something that Chief Garcia brought to our attention, and we decided we needed to make sure that our code mirrors the statute. So happy to answer any questions.
Okay, questions from the board, starting with Trustee Beckman.
No questions. Thanks for bringing that up, Chief.
Trustee Orcutt?
No questions.
Trustee Nix?
No questions?
Trustee Wakeman?
No questions.
Trustee Roseberry?
No questions.
Mayor Pro Tem Dean?
No questions.
I have no questions, so it's pretty clear. I'll take a motion on the matter.
Move to approve ordinance number 2025-827, an ordinance of the town of Milliken, Colorado, amending portions of the model traffic code regarding use of a mobile electronic device.
I'll second.
Town clerk, please call for a vote.
Trustee Wakeman,
Yes.
Trustee Nix,
Yes.
Trustee Orcutt,
Yes.
Trustee Beckman,
Yes.
Trustee Roseberry,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Dandine,
Yes.
Mayor Austin.
Yes.
Motion carries.
What's the problem over here?
I don't know.
I am on the struggle bus today.
Thought you did something to her. All right. We have very professional board meetings. All righty. Next item on the agenda is consideration for approval of a professional services agreement with Ayers Associates to complete a housing needs assessment. Presenting is Pepper McClanahan, Community Development Director.
Thank you, Mayor and trustees. This professional services agreement is in response to Senate Bill 24174 that was signed into law by the governor in May of 2024 as part of his initiative on affordable housing. And the act requires local governments to complete a housing needs assessment, which looks at a number of different data points, including current value, future residents, type and amount of housing needed in the community, type and amount provided in the community. So it's a really great way to inform decisions in a number of different areas in planning and development, and also with our housing authority. So we're very excited to get this going. The Community Development Department released an RFP in March. We had 3 firms proposing, and there is a bid tab on on the dais there. The 3 firms were Ayers Associates, Matrix Design Group, and Econ Northwest. The budgets range from $65,000 to $49,900, with the middle one being $60,000. So it was $65,000, $60,000, and $49,900. After conducting interviews, the evaluation team is recommending Ayers and Associates. We felt they had a little bit more experience in our neck of the woods with Northern Colorado projects that they'd already completed in housing needs assessments. And they have an office in Fort Collins, so they're close, and we thought more of the budget would be able to be devoted to the project and to community outreach. The proposal is in your packet that was submitted by Ayers, and we do have a representative from Ayers if you would like him to come up and address you.
Yeah, we would like to get a little overview if you could please come up. Good evening.
Thank you. Good evening, Mayor and trustees. My name is Mike Scholl. I'm with Ayers Associates. I'm actually a resident of Loveland, so just up the road, but we have an office in Fort Collins. And as Pepper mentioned, we have quite an extensive experience, particularly in Colorado, this neck of the woods, and also in smaller communities. We do a lot of work. We've done Severance, Kersey, 2 other similar communities, Berthoud, plus we did all of the northeast 6-county region. We did the housing needs assessment for all of those, including the counties, and then there was 8 communities within that wanted similar housing needs assessments. So in addition to a number of other communities around the state. I don't have a formal presentation, which thankfully, But, what we're here to do is kind of to work with you to kind of engage the community, to get out and have a good discussion about your residents, about the housing needs that you have locally. And I think as Pepper mentioned, really I'm a proponent, philosophically, good policy makes the best politics. And so if you can get the policy right, I think it kind of will help guide you forward with your decisions around housing, with land use code, with development opportunities, grant opportunities, infrastructure, and so on and so forth. So we look forward to kind of working with you. We look forward to engaging with the community, the different groups and individuals, and coming back to you with a good housing needs assessment and helping you kind of move forward with that, with a good, strong housing policy, because we know that's a really big issue in the state and the region today. So thank you.
Thank you. Questions from the board, starting with Trustee Wakeman.
I do have questions, and I'll kind of let the two of you decide, I guess, which one maybe can address the questions a little better. I have a few questions about kind of related to the requirements of the state. Obviously, this is a mandate, and that's part of the reason that we're doing it. Not that we're not looking for the information to begin with, but my questions are we in this process? Are we just going to meet the state requirements? Are we going to be provided with additional information beyond that? What do we do with that information? How is that going to benefit us as a town specifically? Exactly what is the process? And kind of the reasoning for going with the bid that's $15,000 is, $65,000 is no joke in our budget, unfortunately. Sure. I wish it were, but it's not. And kind of how we settled on a bid that came in $15,000 higher than another bid.
Let me address your last question first, and then regarding the process and those questions, I'll turn that over to Mike. It is a heavily data-driven product. The lowest bidding firm did not have the experience and did not, the evaluators did not rank them high because of that lack of experience. And also, they're based out of a different state, and I think they're trying to get a foothold here in Colorado, but we just didn't get the impression that they would really understand our community as well as Ayers and Associates did. This money is budgeted. It is in my budget for this year. I anticipated that we were going to need to do this in response to this regulation and maybe some others, so there's extra in there. Like, close your ears. It's a not to exceed amount, so 65 is the max amount. And so that's pretty much what we came in with. The lowest bid firm, we just didn't feel like they would be able to engage the community well. And Cheryl's nodding her head too, because she was in on the interviews. So that was a differentiation between the two, the three firms. The top two are very close. They were very close. And to be honest, Ayers kind of, topped out because they are so close and they're accessible. And they've completed so many assessments in northern Colorado, which, let's face it, we're not Denver. We're very different than other areas of Colorado. So we thought it was important that we had a firm on board that understood our culture and our community and what our residents are going to need for now and in the future. So did I kind of cover all that?
Yeah, I believe so. Certainly if the lowest bid, I can understand that certainly makes sense if they're trying to get a foothold, but I don't know that we want to be their foothold, right? I appreciate their looking to broaden their horizons, but maybe not be the first. So considering a difference between $60,000 and $65,000, a $5,000 difference is a whole lot closer consideration. So I appreciate that.
Sure. I'll step aside and let Mike talk to you about the process and what's entailed.
Sounds good.
I'm going to try to do my best to unpack the question and give you kind of a good answer. And I will say, we do appreciate, we're very grateful, and we do welcome, we're excited to be working with you. So I just wanted to add that.
We appreciate that you're here present.
Thank you. Well, that was part of it. Yeah, wanted to
we're
demonstrate,
yeah.
from my presence that we are, we do want to be responsive. So, so there's a couple things. There's the state requirements. They have a guide. I've got it in my backpack. I don't want to get into it in too deep because I think professionally, I think they overloaded it a little bit, but that's neither here nor there. But I do think that they have certain requirements that you need to put into the housing needs assessment. It just relates to demand level at different incomes and for different populations and things like that, which they're not terribly difficult to go through and figure that out. So there's that, and I think that then allows the town and the community to be eligible for different housing infrastructure grants related to housing and building affordable housing. So there's kind of that element. The other part of it is, what we try to do in addition is, I think, really bring a little bit more of your local flavor and values into that. It's kind of, because it's really about asking yourself, what do you want your housing to look like over the next 10, 15 years? I mean, housing, it's a long-term investment. They're long-term developments, and so thinking about it in the long term makes a lot of sense. So I think our hope is that if we do a good plan, it'll help inform some of your land use decisions, the type of housing that you'd like to see more of, the type of needs, housing needs that you're, and where there are opportunities to kind of meet those needs, to help kind of have a healthy, sustainable housing market. I mean, one of the things, just as a few examples, senior housing is a really big issue. Obviously, it's not just a Milliken, it's an issue in the country. We're aging and trying to find opportunities for seniors to move smoothly, gracefully into kind of housing so that the houses that they're in can then be brought into the market for younger families. Because a lot of what's happening is, because there's not good available senior housing, seniors are staying in their house and they have bigger houses. They don't need 3 bedrooms anymore, but a young family could. So it's thinking about those types of issues and while at the same time, having a good, robust community engagement so that your residents have opportunities to share those thoughts and ideas and kind of establish what your local housing values are. So that.
I think that addressed kind of what I heard was makes us available for grants.
Yes.
Adds to our 15-year plan so that we're planning for the future. So in all reality, the $65,000 is not just a this year budget item, it's planning for the future, correct?
Correct.
So we could spread that over multiple years and then looking to have somewhere for seniors in our community to advance to, and I think that's important for all of us. And so I appreciate the points that you made.
Thank you.
Trustee Nix.
So the data that you're acquiring, is that going to be solely based on what the community gives you? Like, will there be surveys sent out? How do you gather your data?
So there's a number of different sources, and I think we've done enough of them, particularly in smaller communities. I think we've got it down pretty good. There's the biggest challenge is that, like, when you look at like the census data or the public, even the state demographer's office, which is kind of which is the resource for local communities, they don't collect. They collect the data at the county level or at the metropolitan statistical, it's the bigger areas. They don't collect it kind of at the small local. So the smaller you get, I want to say that it's not bad data, it's just not as reliable. So what we try to do is take the data that we have available, the publicly available data, the census, the ESRI, different sources, and then we try to compare them with what we can find on the ground. So we'll work with you on your number of taps, which is a good indication of your housing. We look at for another community, we're working with the town of Eaton right now, which is somewhat similar. And we just went through pulled the assessor data to establish kind of the value in the single family to give them a percent. They're like 93% 3.8% single-family residential. So you can start to put together, paint the picture of what your housing looks like locally. So we try to take the data that we have available, try to confirm it with some of the sources that we know we have on the ground, and then use our eyes, because I think, you know, being local and being able to go and look is really important. You know, just kind of believing what you read is not, I'm always, you need to verify. So that's a big part of it. And then the second half, in terms of the community engagement, we typically will do a community survey, and I think that's in the works for Milliken. You know, we'll work with Pepper and her staff and the stakeholders to come up with a good set of questions that people will, you know, take the time to answer. We've done enough of these, so we kind of have a good idea of kind of what what we'll be asking and how that information kind of feeds into some of the recommendations afterward. And then on top of that, we'll be meeting with, we'll be present at community events. I know there's the Beef and Bean, yes. So looking forward to that one. I think that sounds like fun. And you know, we'll try to have a public presence for folk, you know, to kind of encourage people to kind of come talk to us, to complete the survey, to share their information. And we'll also be on a more micro level, talking with some of your development community, because I know there's some issues with housing. I shouldn't say issues, but there's housing developers that I know that are very active in this market, and looking at having some discussions with them about what their plans are, about where they see opportunities, and if there's some opportunity to work collaboratively with them on different housing needs, and you know, and to help promote kind of a healthier, sustainable housing market in the community. So we try to kind of do it at multiple different levels and make sure that the data, it kind of confirms itself, or when we come, we're reasonably confident that we've painted a pretty accurate picture.
Thank you.
Trustee Orcutt, questions?
You mentioned Eaton. Is there any other surrounding communities that you've done this for?
So we're working on Eaton now. We're finished up Berthoud a couple months, I think, or close. We've done Severance, Kersey. I think under my colleague, I think we're doing Weld County, the county. We also did, so the Northeast, we did, I have to remember all the communities' names.
You've done a bunch of them around here, though. So.
Yeah.
That's fine. I'm not going to make you rattle them all. I was just curious that you since you mentioned Eaton and you were local, if other surrounding towns and cities were using you for this service. So it sounds like they are.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we have. I mean, and we do other things too with the number of other communities we work with. So
right.
This is kind of my world, but we have. So I mean, I won't get into it. I won't give you a full marketing spiel, but yeah, that's just on the housing needs. So.
Okay. I will comment that I appreciate a local place, because being on the planning commission and going through the comp plan, and then they were out of Chicago, I feel like there was some disconnect there with how that process went. So I feel like having a local presence that's done a lot of small, kind of more rural communities, or like growing communities such as Berthoud, is an advantage for us to look at the scope of, all the possibilities for this. So just thank you to the staff for picking this company.
Trustee Beckman.
I have no questions.
Trustee Roseberry.
I have no questions either.
Mayor Pro Tem Dean.
I have no questions. Mine have been answered. Thank you.
Cool.
No,
Thank you.
you gave very good answers, so I
Yeah,
don't have
great.
don't have any questions either. So, all right, if there's no further discussion, I'll take a motion on the matter.
I move to authorize the mayor to sign a professional services agreement with Ayers Associates to complete a housing needs assessment in the amount of $65,000.
I'll second.
Town clerk, please call for a vote.
Trustee Roseberry.
I feel comfortable to abstain with this one.
Okay. Trustee Beckman.
Yes.
Trustee Orcutt.
Yes.
Trustee Nix.
Yes.
Trustee Wakeman,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Dean,
Yes.
Mayor Austin.
Yes,
Motion carries.
thank you. Next item on the agenda is consideration for approval of a construction agreement with Mountain Constructors for the Center Drive Improvements Project. Presenting tonight is John Rabus, our Streets and Facilities Director.
Good evening.
Good evening.
The proposed project entails the reconstruction of Center Drive from Weld County Road 23 3/4 to the east, 2,360 feet, reaching the town limits. The improvements to the site will include asphalt paving, a combination of attached and detached sidewalk, equipped with curb ramps, and the installation of a storm drainage system. The roadway will feature two 13-foot travel lanes and a 12-foot center turn lane. The Center Drive is going to mirror Weld County Road 23 3/4.
Questions from the board, starting with Trustee Beckman.
No questions. I just want to mention, I guess you can expand on this, but that has been in the budget and mentioning the grant as well.
That's correct.
Just to have it on the record.
Yep,
Do you want to
we had $3 million already budgeted in the 2025 Capital Improvements Fund. Then on May 28th, we received the $1 million grant from DOLA.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Trustee Orcutt?
I was gonna ask what Trustee Beckman asked, so no, thanks.
There you go. Trustee Nix?
How many bids did we have for this project?
15,
We had 15?
yes.
And where did Mountain Constructors fall?
Number one. They were the lowest, they were in first.
Well, they were the No, I mean like, with what they did, like.
Oh,
They were the lowest.
Mountain Constructors, they were, to say 2.4 million, and then our highest bid was 4.7 million.
Okay.
Have you used them before?
And there's a bid tab in your sheet packet too.
Yeah.
Have we used them before?
No, we have not. They've
Okay.
always came in higher on
Oh, okay.
the majority of our projects. They do
I
have a very
believe-
good reputation.
Yeah, I believe in
Okay.
the past we have used them prior to John being here.
Oh, gotcha. The bid packet that I looked at didn't have the other bids in it. I didn't see other bids in
Oh.
it. That's why I was asking.
You didn't get the overall?
It's in there.
No, I
Yeah,
didn't see
it's
that
in
one.
here.
Page 175.
This is it.
I didn't see it, so I
Okay.
appreciate that you.
Not a problem.
Thank you. No other questions?
Any questions? Trustee Roseberry?
No questions.
Trustee Wakeman?
Just wondering if you can talk a little bit about what the current use is of Center Drive and what the anticipation is, for planned use, what this is going to expand for us in general for the town.
Well, number one, it's going to widen the length of the roadway.
And maybe
add-
Cheryl can jump in too.
Add additional turn lane to it, because right now you just have 2-lane traffic. And the number of heavy construction vehicles that are going up and down there it'll give those vehicles a little bit more room, especially when they come out of Center Drive onto 23 3/4. They'll have a bigger turning radius. And then you also have the sidewalks for pedestrians and the drainage system improvements, because right now currently there's no drainage system out there at all. Everything just sheets flows.
So more adequate use for the industrial area
Yes.
and the equipment up and down. Thank you for the work on getting the grant. Obviously, we need every dollar we can to go towards, and so thankful that that's available and appreciate your guys' work on obtaining that.
We got lucky.
Yeah, we did. That's okay. We've had a lot of luck, so we'll
Yeah.
take it. But that road is in such disrepair. This is the only way to,
There's no other way to
Yeah,
fix it. The
there's no
subgrade's
way.
gone.
and these roads should last.
A minimum of 20 years with proper maintenance.
Okay, so, good to know, thank you.
Okay. Mayor Pro Tem Dean, any questions?
No questions.
right, if there's no further questions, I'll take a motion on that.
I move to authorize the mayor to sign a construction agreement with Mountain Constructors, Inc. for the construction of Center Drive Street Improvement Project for $2,450,200.
A second.
Town clerk, please call for a vote.
Trustee Orca?
Yes.
Trustee Nix?
Yes.
Trustee Wakeman?
Yes.
Trustee Rosemary?
I'll abstain.
Trustee Beckman?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Dean?
Yes.
Mayor Austin?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. You're up again, John. You're spending our money. Consideration for approval of a professional service agreement with Tate and Associates for the Center Drive improvements and the Public Works shop drainage improvements. Presenting John Ravis, Streets and Facilities Director.
The scope of the administrative services include daily inspections, weekly coordination meetings, review of submittals, management of field change requests, and evaluation of pay applications and change orders. A representative to Tate will be on site approximately 24 hours per week, beginning June 16th and concluding December 1st, 2025.
Okay. Questions from the board, starting with Trustee Nix?
Let's start with me. Is this not something that we can do in-house?
Currently, no. We got three other projects going on.
Have we ever thought of hiring someone that can do this instead of contracting out?
You need some expertise with engineers there.
Yeah, and not just one kind of engineer, multiple.
There's multiple.
Okay, just wondering, just putting it out there.
Good thought. Maybe someday.
That'd be nice.
Trustee Beckman?
No question.
Trustee Orcutt?
No questions.
Trustee Wakeman?
Probably no specific questions, and I guess maybe you can clarify it in terms of, it's hard to swallow for 24 hours a week for less than 6 months of work. So part-time, short-term use for $215,000. I sure rather pay a salary to somebody than a contract. But I can appreciate Cheryl's comment on multiple different types of engineers needed, and that they come to the table with maybe not the same person and the same expertise, but multiple people, multiple expertise. So I appreciate that perspective, but yeah, I think we've had this conversation before, actually.
Right, yeah.
Because this is hard for me to take every time.
Taking for granted, these numbers are safe numbers on our side.
Okay.
We've never went over our budget on one of these projects with Tate, but we do give you safe numbers to start with.
Okay.
Where we don't have to come back twice.
Okay. Yeah, still, see, it feels a little frustrating. Like I said, it would be nice to pay somebody a salary, rather than having to pay
Like three
a contractor. And but I appreciate that isn't always possible, and so maybe just something for us to be on the lookout generally, I guess, where we can bring stuff in-house.
Okay. Trustee Rosemary?
No questions.
Mayor Pro Tem Dean?
No questions.
I have no questions, but I do hope that this shop drainage project goes well so that we don't have any more flooding out there. So, if there's no further discussion, I'll take a motion on the matter.
I move to authorize the town administrator to sign a professional service agreement with Tate and Associates, Inc. for administration support services for the Center Drive improvements and the PW drainage improvements for $215,780.
A second.
Town clerk, please call for a vote.
Trustee Beckman?
Yes.
Trustee Orca?
Yes.
Trustee Nix?
Yes.
Trustee Wakeman?
Yes.
Trustee Rosemary?
I'll abstain.
Mayor Pro Tem Dean?
Yes.
Mayor Austin?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Next item on the agenda is the license agreement with Millhouse Coffee for coffee and food vending. Presenting is Cheryl Powell, Town Administrator.
Yes, thank you, Mayor and trustees. As we've discussed in prior work sessions, that we needed to revise the current agreement, and it is due to be revised anyway. The agreement is 1 year. And so I did meet with the owner of Millhouse, and we came back, which I believe I mentioned to you in a work session, that they agreed to pay the $350 per month plus 50% of all the utility bills that are for that property, and then we'll renegotiate once the library moves out.
Okay. Questions from the board, starting with Trustee Orcutt.
Did we discuss not a sliding scale on this, but I guess that's going back after the library moves out? Yeah, I was trying to remember because it's been a little bit since we discussed this.
Because currently, right now, they don't pay any utilities.
Right.
And so, the whole point when we first brought Millhouse in, it was helping promote their business as well as the library.
Right.
Which has been hugely successful for both, I think. Enough for the library to want to stay in Milliken and expand their services at the former middle school. So that's a plus for our town. Plus, the coffee shop is busy all the time. So it attracts people to the downtown area as one of the attractions. The cost of the rent per month will be also negotiated at the time the library moves out. They'll have more space for more customers. I'll have a better idea what the square footage is for them in there and what the cost per square footage is going at. And then, again, going to 100% of utilities paid at that time.
Okay, okay. Awesome, thank you.
You're welcome.
And the library, I think it'd be like December, I can't remember the exact,
Last
around
I heard
there?
was around January, but
Okay.
you know how those projects are.
Right.
So that's why we kind of just said we'll renegotiate it at that time.
Okay. Trustee Beckman, any questions?
No question.
Trustee Nix, any questions?
So I just have one kind of question / comment. So with use to the kitchen in the town hall, they're allowed to use it from 4:30 a.m. to 5:30 a.m. Monday through Saturday, and then 2 to 4 p.m. Monday through Friday. And so this doesn't interfere with the senior center at all, and are they going to adhere to these hours?
They need to.
And will there be somebody overseeing that?
Well, hopefully the coffee shop does. Every now and again they'll come in the later afternoons, just fry up some bacon or do something like that. But they should not be interfering with their seniors.
Yeah.
And there's
that's my
been a couple of
concern.
times that people have gone in to get something, which that's fine because they have their refrigerator in there.
Yeah.
But yeah, no baking or cooking during those times.
Okay.
Yes, no.
Trustee Wakeman?
No questions, believe it or not.
Please?
If you put me last, then I
Let me
don't
mark
have
the
to-
date and time down. Trustee Roseberry, any questions? Mayor Pro Tem Dean?
No questions.
Okay, I have no questions. Hearing no further discussion on the matter, I will take a motion.
I move to authorize the town administrator to sign the updated license agreement with Culinary Food Catering and Sweet Treats LLC DBA Millhouse Coffee.
I'll second.
Town Clerk, please call for a vote.
Trustee Orcutt?
Yes.
Trustee Nix?
Yes.
Trustee Wakeman?
Yes.
Trustee Beckman?
Yes.
Trustee Roseberry?
Abstain.
Mayor Pro Tem Dean?
Yes.
Mayor Austin?
Yes,
Motion carries.
thank you.
Thank you.
Do we have any board reports tonight? Any meetings that anybody attended?
Not in the last 2 weeks, I don't think.
No? All right. If there's no further business to come before the board, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We're out. Thank you.